Hello and welcome to Multitasking, Self-Care, and a Book Haul. So let's see if I can get this done before I start talking like this. On the weekend, yes, I did go to the thrift bookstore again, Goodwill. Amazing finds, several for $1, which just blew me away, and I definitely had to have. So let's get started. The first book that I noticed for $1 that I couldn't believe is Beyond Uhura, Nichelle, Nichols, Star Trek and Other Memories. I have been wanting to read this for quite some time. Yes, I'm a Star Trek original fan. Loved the character of Uhura and looking forward to learning more about her. Couldn't believe this was on the $1 shelf. Then I found Life After Death. This is by Tom Harpur, an author I have read before. And this is, okay, let's see if I can do this without getting my face mask all over my glasses. This is based on an acclaimed TV series. Didn't know about the series, haven't seen it. I'm looking forward to the read. Let me know if you've watched any of the episodes about that. The next three books that I found in the $1 section is Gurdachev. Can't tell you much about him. I know I have come across that name numerous times. For some reason, I'm thinking philosophy, but it may be something else. This is first book, second book, third book, so of course I scooped all three. Beelzebub's Tales to His Grandson. Now this says, an objectively impartial criticism of the life of man. I'm very interested in reading this set. Like I say, I know I've come across Gurdachev's name in numerous other books. I just can't place them right now. Next, for $4.50, The Secret Doctrine by Madame Helena Blavatsky. This book currently retails at Indigo for $50. Woohoo! Savings. Yes, it's a beyond chunky monkey. It took most of her life to write it, and she did not have the luxury of typing and editing and correcting. It was all handwritten throughout her life. I'm looking forward to the read. It's going to take me some time. The text itself is 1,209 pages. There is a huge index, which will be very handy as I reference back and forth with other works, bringing the total page number to 1,253. But I was so excited to find this copy. And yes, this again is what happens when you ask the universe with sincerity and nicely what you should do, because I'd been debating about going to Indigo. $50 is a lot of money for one book, but this is a unique piece of work. And there it was at the thrift store for $4.50. Very, very happy me. Also in the $1 section, and suitable it's read, I found Scarlet, the sequel to Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind. This is by Alexandra Ripley. I had no idea there was a sequel. It has been ages since I've watched Gone with the Wind. I don't think I've ever read the text, but I'm very curious to give this a read. Another $1 find is James Van Praagh, Talking to Heaven, a medium's message of life after death. Now, I do have one of his books. Haven't really been inclined to buy any of the others, but for $1, seriously, couldn't go wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This stack cost me all of $7. Blavatsky for $4.50. Come on, who could pass that up? Now, the other finds. First off, I am going to say a big thank you to Monty for mentioning that there was another book in the Odyssey collection. I thought there were only 3, but when I went to my thrift store, they had 2061. This is a hardback. My other 3 are all paperbacks, but that's okay. I now have the complete set, so I can begin reading Odyssey. So thank you so much, Monty, for letting me know there was one more book. Thank you so much, Universe, for making sure I could get the next one to read the whole series back to back. Another book that I found is Dreamwork for the Soul. This is by Rosemary Ellen Guiley. I have her book at the top of my stand about angels. I also have a work that she co-wrote with George Newry about talking to the dead and using spirit boxes. This is a spiritual guide to dream interpretation. And recently I was over on Margaret Pinard's channel. We were talking about steering by starlight and talking about dream work as well. So lovely this showed up. And I did mention, no, I don't buy books that interpret dreams with the symbols because different symbols mean different things to different people. Because, I don't have enough ghost books. I picked up Ghost Towns of Ontario, a field guide. This is by Ron Brown, as well as Ghost Stories of Saskatchewan. This is by Joanne Christensen. I have a couple of her other books in my other ghost series, and I'm very interested in reading this field guide, especially having spoken with Richard Palmisano a few times, a paranormal investigator here in Ontario. I'm curious to see what locations are in there and connect with Richard to see what his thoughts are about them or if he's investigated them. Another awesome find. Thank you again, Universe. Summer Night, Dresden Files. One of the earlier books that I needed. I'm now down to just needing 3 more books to finish the Dresden Files series. 2 I purchased myself. The rest have all come from my local thrift store. So with any luck, the universe will continue smiling. Brought me Blavatsky, brought me what I needed for the Odyssey, brought me all those Star Trek original logbook series 1 to 10. Hopefully will bring me the last 3 of the Dresden books. Super excited to continue on with that series, as I've only read 2 so far. Another author that I've mentioned on the channel several times is Ted Andrews and his book Animal Speak. I continue to use that on a regular basis, whether I'm looking up information about animal guides, bird guides, insect guides. This is How to Uncover Your Past Lives. I enjoy his writing style. I'm always curious about past lives. I've never done any work with that. I've certainly never gone to pay someone to do it, partly because I have trust issues. So I'm curious to see what Ted explains and the activities and exercises he has that may be of benefit. Another surprising find that I didn't even know existed is an experiential guide. This is based on the 10th Insight, Holding the Vision. This is by James Redfield and Carolyn Adrienne, the authors who also wrote the Experiential Guide to Accompany the Celestine Prophecy, the first book in that series. Very curious to know how this goes. I've read the entire Celestine Prophecy series, the Prophecy, the 10th Insight, the 11th Insight, which has to do with Shambhala, the 12th Insight, as well as reading the Celestine Vision. Looking forward to this. Yes, another program to try and squeeze in somewhere with various other things. But very happy to find this, and I love this picture on the front. The next two books are rebuys. I know I've had these books before. The Complete Book of Ghosts. This is by Paul Roland. Need to get the little glass. Need to get the glasses again. A fascinating exploration of the spirit world from apparitions to haunted places. I can't remember why I would have unhauled it years ago, and I will keep this dust jacket on it, even though the hardcover has the same incredible photography on it. But the dust covers do include information about the book and work itself. Another book that I know I had years ago, this is Nostradamus and Other Prophets and Seers. This is by Joe Durden Smith. Prophecies and Secret Knowledge from Ancient Times to the Present Day. I think part of why I unhauled it is I figure Nostradamus was writing about his time, not so much things in our time. But if you've seen some of my other book hauls or videos, I do have two books on him. I love this particular photo of him, and I enjoy the cover. As I say, there were two more rebuys. I think that brings me up to 40 or over books that I had unhauled, thought I was done with, and have returned to my library. And this is why I don't haul them. And this is why I don't unhaul books anymore. The last book I almost didn't pick up, but it was $4.50. The title grabbed me right away, as did the cover. You'll find out when I tell you who the author is, why I hesitated. The Reincarnation of Edgar Cayce, Interdimensional Communication and Global Transformation by Wynn with David Wilcox. I can't seem to shake this guy. I still need to finish the Ascension Mysteries. I was going to be done with him after the Ascension Mysteries, and now I've picked up a book because Edgar Cayce, and I'm curious, like, is he still claiming he's the reincarnation of Edgar Cayce? What does this author have to say about it? So I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm too curious for my own good. But that one will be waiting for a bit. after I get through the Ascension Mysteries, I will be done with Mr. Wilcox for a little bit. That, and I'm not holding them all up, here's the picture of all the titles that I found on Sunday. Super excited. 18 more to the collection. Yes, that now brings me up to 466 books that I need to finish. I know, thank you to Chaz, and I did the book audit, which was such an amazing idea, and I've updated that total in one of my other videos coming up. So I know how many I have to read now. One of them is a program, so I didn't count that guide in it. I just added 17. So, although all of this cost me $85, and yes, I always know in my account how much money I have set aside for my books, this alone would have cost me $50. So, a massive savings in the hundreds if I tally all of what these would cost me new. Certainly with the Dresden files, like I say, I've got all but 2 of them through my thrift store. How do I manage to do all of this and keep going book shopping when I'm at home? Well, it helps that we have 2 incomes. Mine may not be huge, but we also paid off our mortgage over 10 some odd years ago. Always make sure the kids are taken care of, the bills are paid, and I have my little pocket of money set aside for my fun spending because we lead a simple life. We make basic foods. I don't buy all kinds of furniture and clothes and everything else all the time. So, books are my thing. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you read any of these books? Are you interested in hearing about some of these books? I'm not sure when I will be getting to some of them, and that reminds me, I forgot to. I just had to scoot out to the living room. This is what happens when I move books and I start reading them right away. This one is The Mammoth Book of Cover-Ups. This is by John E. Lewis. Yes, it says right on the front, the Da Vinci Code. This book was published in 2007. Willing to bet it needs a few updates. At the end of each topic, there's further reading, maybe a book, maybe websites. I've already checked into a few of them. Definitely will be referring to this over the next few years as I pull information together because, of course, there's the Da Vinci Code. So we have the Templars, the Opus Dei, the Illuminati, the Masons, so much more. There are some medical things in here as well. Very interesting, and I started that last night. The other book, because, I already said August to December is going to be Conspiracies, Cryptids, and Others, and ta-da, there were 2 books when I went to the thrift store. This is Conspiracies and Secret Societies, the complete dossier. This is the 2nd edition. This is by Brad Steger and Sherry Steger. I believe that's his wife, if I remember correctly. I know I have a number of other works by him. He's been writing for decades. This would also need to be updated because this was published in 2013. And, well, hello. If you've seen the news, any of that kind of stuff, of course there's all kinds of different things. This book, as I started it yesterday, gave me a chuckle as I began with the introduction because, again, I know it's either in my video or one of my live streams. I've mentioned David Icke and the reptilians, and it actually talks about this in the introduction. So, kind of funny how all those things show up together when you least expect it, whether it's an author, a word, what have you. That includes all of the books that I've found. Remember, until next time, be well, be safe, big hugs.